Hey, it's Noelle, and I was about to sit down with Victoria. If you work with me or follow me on Instagram, you probably know who Victoria is. And I was about to record a video on how I really healed my food relationship. It's something that I kind of like touch on TikTok, on Instagram. If you know me personally, you know how big a part of my whole journey was like a really toxic food relationship, but I haven't really gone into full detail on like how did I come out of that legitimately. But as I was about to do that, um, another idea came through that's pretty like a simpler video that I wanted to just get out, and it's around bloating. And why that came through is I get a lot of ideas through my clients and I'm working with them one-on-one. Um, And there's something I want to just, in a way, create clarity around. If you right now are struggling with chronic bloating and you, like me, like Victoria, you're like doing everything that you know to do to fix the bloating, to solve the bloating. You're researching, you're doing testing, you're doing all the things, but you're dealing with this chronic bloating. That in the case of my client, it's affecting her mental health. What I want to break down really is what I learned through my process of healing my gut about bloating so that you can pivot your approach slash just kind of understand the situation better so that you can, again, just de-bloat. And yeah, I'll just jump right in. So when you're dealing with chronic bloating and it's been going on for a long time, it's very natural to start thinking in terms of, okay, what is it that is causing my bloating? What food am I eating that's causing the bloating? What am I doing that is causing the bloating? And what happens with that line of thought is then you can kind of get into this obsessive, um, like, is it that food? Is it that thing? Is it this food? And then, especially, let's talk about food for a second. It could jack up your food relationship real quick because you are like feeling like you're walking on eggshells with food because you're worried if something's going to bloat you. Then, this is also really common. It's like, let's just say you're not bloated one day for some reason. You're like, oh my gosh. Then you try to capture what you did that day. Like, what did I do? Or I'm not bloated. But then you try to mimic that the next day you're bloated. Like, what's going on? Okay. So the way that I like to think of bloating, chronic bloating, chronic. When I say chronic, I mean it's been going on for months to years. It's the same way that I think about chronic constipation or chronic acid reflux. It's that the bloating is more than likely a symptom of your digestion in general being out of whack, weakened, slash maybe your gut health as well, just being off. It's usually a combination of both, like your digestion not running the way that it should, and your gut health being a bit off. They're usually together. So why this is important is because it will change the approach on how to resolve the bloating. If you're just thinking of what is causing the bloating, what do I need to remove? We're actually not seeing the full picture of what's going on. And you could feel like you're just playing a game of whack-a-mole. But if we approach the bloating from, oh, the bloating is a symptom of crappy digestion, and crappy gut health, then if we just get your digestion strong and running smoothly and start to rebalance your gut health, then strong digestion, better gut health equals no bloating. You see the difference? Why this can be kind of a breakthrough is because usually the approach, whether you go to a medical doctor, even a functional doctor, dietitian, I'm not speaking for all, right? But in general, the approach is with bloating is more trying to help you identify what that one thing is that's causing the bloating, or just like how to manage, versus going like, wait, because usually if you're having bloating, there's also other things going on. There's other little things going on, if not big things. Not going, oh, wait, maybe your digestion itself is not functioning properly. Let's get your digestion running smoothly again. Let's address your gut health so that bloating doesn't happen. In my conversation with this client, why this came up was because this may make it even more tangible for you. She's working with me one-on-one through my gut rehab process. Gut rehab is the name that I give to the process of restoring normal function to your digestive system so that you don't experience crazy random symptoms. You feel more in control. And also, when you fix gut issues, your whole body rebalances. So other things rebalance as well. And through that gut rehab process, you learn exactly how to eat for your own body, and beyond just eat for your own body, like how to keep your body in balance. But anyways, she's working with me one-on-one through that process, and we're very early in. And I was giving her recommendations around certain foods that she should remove for a period of time to help her gut calm down. Note, one of her biggest things is bloating. And she goes, naturally, well, sure, I can do that, but I don't feel like that food causes bloating because I'm bloated all the time. And I'm like, fair, so fair. You're bloated all the time. You don't notice a difference around when you eat that food or don't. But that's not how we want to look at it. We want to look at it as, okay, you're bloated all of the time. All of the time, your digestion is off. Your gut health is off. So I'm making these diet recommendations, not because I think when you remove this one food, that's the cause of your bloating and it's going to go away. I'm telling you to remove that food temporarily to support your digestion running smoothly. And there just so happens to be certain foods that for most people who have a sensitive stomach, digestive issues, those foods are not supportive. So when we take a break from certain foods, it supports our digestion kind of rebooting itself. When I explained it in that way, she was like, oh, that makes sense. You know? So, and then a part of that process as well is not just like, let's just remove these foods forever, because the goal is to strengthen your digestion as much as possible in gut rehab, get it running smoothly. Removing foods is really just one of the steps. It's removal to calm stuff down, like give your gut a break from foods that are just tough. Then, as your gut starts to re-strengthen and you notice because you're not having as many symptoms, bloating's going down, at a different point, you can choose to bring back certain foods that you removed to then see with your now stronger, calmer digestion, is it a true trigger? Okay, so just so you know, that's also part of the process. But when I explained this to her, it was like, oh. And again, I just don't think that bloating and digestive issues in general are often approached like this. There's a big I think, focus, especially when you go natural, on like finding the root cause, finding the root cause. And um, I was right there. It's like you go down every Google rabbit hole, you watch every YouTube video, you like, what is causing this? And that's great energy, because that means that you are somebody who is going to solve this, like you're gonna fix it. But what's interesting is I end up working with a lot of women who've been trying to solve it for months to years. And in that attempt to try to solve the bloating, they have collected so much information on themselves on things that are wrong, yet there's no path to recovery. It's like there's no path to solve the problem still. So all of that to say, with the bloating, it's like there are many causes. Usually, bloating is happening because it's a manifestation of your gut being out of balance. And what caused that? Probably multiple things. You know, sometimes it really is super simple. Like somebody is just eating a crap ton of, sorry about my language, but of like Brussels sprouts and cabbage. And those are gas forming foods, and they remove those and they're not bloated. But usually when you have chronic gut issues, it feels more complex than that, and there's more things going on. So sometimes it is that simple. Usually the whole reason why you're having gut issues in general, it was multifactorial. Your gut is off. Your gut needs to be rebalanced and repaired. And when that happens, the bloating goes away. So I hope this was very clarifying for you. If you've been struggling chronic bloating, you can totally overcome it. The energy you have to solve it, you watching this video, yes, like that is the energy that you want. You may just need to change your approach and really start focusing less on digging for the root and more on, okay, how do I repair? How do I repair? And yes, spoiler alert, gut rehab that I mentioned, that's a process that I walk women through one-on-one. And I also consolidated that process in a self-paced course. The course is almost like podcast style, where you could listen to it when you're driving, but also it has very tangible steps on, here's what I would do to rehab my gut to work again. Normally. But yeah, okay. Again, hope this is clarifying, and I'm going to make that other video.